Hi, Mike Gould here, Mayor of Hounds Town USA, home to the absolute happiest dogs on earth. Welcome to our podcast, Houndstown TV. I'm always joined by the very lovely Jackie Bondanza, our president. Welcome to 2019, and boy, what a year 2018 has been. So, of course, I want to wish everybody a prosperous and safe and healthy new year, but I'm also very proud of what Houndstown has done. Houndstown USA doubled in growth since last year. In a minute, I'm going to allow the president to do the State of the Union, letting everyone know what's happening with Houndstown USA. For those of you who don't know what Houndstown is, it's a fully interactive pet care provider. Since our inception, over 20 years ago, I'm proud to say we've taken care of over 1 million, I normally would say four-legged animals, but sometimes they're three-legged, sometimes they're deaf, sometimes they're blind, some are in wheelchairs. Watch our previous podcast and you'll understand what I mean by that. So I can't be more proud to be here with Jackie today, celebrating a successful year. In 2019, God willing, we're going to do double and triple its size in keeping everything, our pet care operations, where we do daycare, boarding, grooming, and an assortment of other things. And I'm very proud then to introduce our president, the lovely, lovely Jackie Bondanza. So, Jackie, please share with everybody this now that it's 2019. What happened way back when?
Well, yes, we've had quite a year in 2018. We started out. You founded this company almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You started out with a little 1,200 square foot space here in Port Jefferson, New York, where we live and where the company was founded. And to see it grow from that to 20 years later, we closed out the year with 14 locations. Half of those are going to be opening this year. So, we have a lot of work ahead of us, but we brought in 7 new franchisees into the system, which literally doubled the size of our system in 2018. So we're excited. We're excited to get all of these locations up and running and to provide the support to all of our amazing franchisees, and they really are. We've had people join the system. We have now 2 locations in Nashville that are going to be opening. One in the Franklin area, one in North Nashville, in the Germantown area. And we also have 2 locations in Atlanta that are going to be opening. One along the kind of the I-75 corridor, and another one just a little bit on the other side of that. So, and we also have Pittsburgh.
Right.
So we're now in 5 states, and of course our locations in New Jersey, in Atlantic City, and in Bergen County are up and running and doing extremely well. So we're moving and shaking, and we're really excited to get things going. And in the 2019 year, we're going to be looking to add about 8 to 12 new locations to our system. Right. So we're looking to grow smart, not necessarily to add 30 or 40 franchisees into the system. We of course want to make sure that we're able to support the franchisees and to get them up and running. Right. That's where we are kind of in a nutshell. But I think we should talk about why Houndstown, why our system is a real competitor in this booming pet care space.
No, completely. So just to touch on some of the points Jackie made, we are about strategic growth. So people that aren't familiar with franchising should understand. So we don't sell franchises, we award them. And we're very, very careful in vetting our future franchisees. So it's not just you have this X amount of money, you want to buy Houndstown territory. It's not happening. And the fact is, we turn away easily more potential franchisees than we accept in. We look for a certain, it's something that you can't define, but we're looking for a very passionate, energetic people
that understand business and management, and that understand that the opportunity in this this pet care space is tremendous, and by 2020 it's going to be $100 billion a year industry. So we are looking to be strategic with our partners.
Right. And to be able to transfer what we do, as I said, since we've opened, we've taken care of 1 million dogs. We're not looking for people that are necessarily know anything about dogs, to be very frank with you. I'd rather have somebody that doesn't even know which they love dogs, but they don't know anything about them. And when they have that self-awareness, that's a good thing for us,
Right.
because we can do it. We've done it. We can transfer our knowledge to people who know nothing about dogs,
Yes.
and have them run a very successful business.
Right. And like you said, we prefer people who come to the table with no dog experience whatsoever. What we really look for are people who understand business. You don't necessarily have to have experience running a business, but it helps if you have management experience, if you've worked in corporate America, you have experience working within that dynamic and within that structure. Because of course, even though this is a doggy daycare business, it does involve staffing and hiring and all the other elements that come along with running a successful business.
Right. So we carefully vet them, and there's like a 7-step process that potential franchisees go through, because we have to be successful. Successes, we can't fail. That's the way I look at things, and our success is based on our business model, how we do things. So we're looking for passionate people, but passion without knowledge is kind of useless. So you can be very passionate about things and always wanted to do this. But like Jackie said, if you don't have that business acumen, the challenges. It's not simple. It's not just emotional. People coming and playing with dogs or working with dogs. That's very common. People say, I always wanted to work with dogs. My answer to that is, did you always want to pick up dog poop?
Right.
A lot of it, because poop is gold in our world, right? So today we're going to be, our locations have 70, 80 dogs on any given day.
Yeah, today actually at our corporate location in Ronkonkoma, we have 90 daycare dogs today, which is, I think, a record for any of our locations. Right. So, that's in a 5,000 square foot facility. Right. So, what we believe is, if we can do that here on Long Island in a 5,000 square foot facility, we can do it anywhere.
Right. And New York and Long Island is a difficult place to do business, just because of the cost of everything, real estate, taxes, everything is expensive.
Right. And I think one of the reasons why Houndstown is, a real player in this pet care space is because we keep things simple. And our business model is very simple. I see a lot of other pet care franchises, and they're so expensive to get into. And I think that's for a number of reasons. And I think the core of that is that people tend to overdo it when it comes to this, and when it comes to designing a model that works and that's successful for people. We keep things extremely simple, and that goes for our franchisees, that goes for our customers, that goes for the way we take care of dogs. So that's sort of one of our very core brand values.
Right. Right, and it's not theoretical. One of the things I'm proud of, we just opened a corporate location now down in New Jersey. We have 5 employees, and we're managing it from New York. And we, knock on wood, we've had very little or any problems. Right. We have a wonderful staff. Shout out to our girls down in Jersey. They're wonderful, passionate, caring people. We were able to train them. We've been open since when?
July.
So it was kind of a model. It was kind of an experiment. It's a 4,000 square foot building. Right. We did our build out consistent with what we say a franchise should be. So with
all of the build out costs and the item 7 of the FDD, we fell within that, because we also do understand that from the corporate perspective, it's really important that we're doing what we're telling the franchisees that can be done. So, we followed the FDD, we followed the system, we followed the timeline, and we came in under budget, and I think under the time frame.
On time and under budget.
We always say that from the time signing a lease to opening is about 90 days, and I think we came in just below that. So it's important that we're constantly improving our system, and that we're doing it by actually doing it ourselves.
And I would add, and this is maybe something nice for people, we're doing it remotely. I'm not saying that's what people should do, especially if you're opening your first franchise. Many of our franchisees are now opening their second franchise and third franchise. So, but the point is, because of our experience, we were able to train the staff, and I look at cameras, so we're very, in this day and age,
it's possible to be remote. A lot of our franchisees are really hands-on in the business for the first 6 to 18 months or so. And then once you hit that 12 to 18 month mark, you're really able as the owner to start backing away. And that's where you start to really reap the benefits of owning a business like this.
And you talk about all the time, franchising is about working on your business, not in your business. I
think that's true, but I also did hear a podcast by some small business owner a couple of days ago that said that's true, but you also have to be hands-on. The first year is really critical.
Of course.
It's a lot of hard work, and it's important that the franchisee is actually in the business for that first year. And then, but there is a transition period where in year 5, 6, 7, and 8, if you're still picking up dog poop in your business, you're not doing something completely right. So yes.
Right, and it is a business. I didn't want to be misleading, but this is a business. It's not like a Dunkin' Donuts. It's not like a yogurt shop that just you hire a manager and 2 employees and it runs itself. It's a very emotional business. Yes. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of stress involved. It's not a panacea. Is that a nice word, panacea? Is that a word? She don't know. I think it is, Bill. But the point of the matter is...
We'll go with that.
Yeah, the point is it's very rewarding. It's an emotional business. We don't exploit why we're successful. We don't breed discriminate against dogs, number one. We don't exploit our customers. We educate them. And those are things that are of value. Many times, that's the number one question. When people see our franchise or look at our FDD, they're like, how come this is so inexpensive? Or how come this is so affordable when our competition is double and triple the cost? Because we keep it simple.
Right, and I think the main reason for that is our build-out costs are very low. So, our build-out costs the ceiling is $250,000. In some of these other pet care facilities, it's $1 million just to get into the system. And part of the reason for that is that, we want franchisees to spend as little as possible to make their facilities safe and sanitary, a safe and sanitary environment. And if we can achieve that in $250,000, why would we make people pay $1 million for it? So our goal in doing that is to allow franchisees to make their money back sooner. And the sooner people make their money back, the better ROI they have, the happier they're going to be, and the more success we're going to have building our brand and as a whole system. So that's our philosophy here at Houndstown. So we work very hard to keep costs really at a minimum to all of our franchisees.
I agree. Let's take a break.
Yes.
Pick up on the other side of our commercials where this is and why we're different than our competitors. That's important.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Mike Gould here, Mayor of Hounds Town USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. We have fully interactive doggy daycare, safe and secure overnight camping, professional grooming, expert training for your dog. Come.
Don't leave your pet home alone. Have a happy and well-exercised dog with a visit to Hounds Town USA. Visit us online at houndstownusa.com for a location near you.
Call today. Tell them the mayor sent you. Get a free trial day.
Hi, welcome back. Mike Gould here, Mayor of Houndstown USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. This is our 2019 State of the Union address, so to speak, letting our folks know out there what we are, who we are, what we do. I'm, of course, joined by the very lovely president of Houndstown, Jackie Bondanza. And before the break, we described what Houndstown is. It's a fully interactive doggy daycare, boarding, grooming facilities with 14 locations throughout the country, expanding very rapidly. We had a wonderful year. We doubled our gross sales, our multi-million-dollar gross sales. It's really boom, boom, boom. Recession-proof, technology-proof business that is, how do I know? We've been doing it for 20 years. We've been through the recessions. We've been through technology, right? So there's no more Blockbuster videos anymore. There's no VCRs. So there are always dogs, wonderful pet owners willing to pay money. But let's talk about why we're different than our competitors. Of course, there's hundreds of competitors, whether it's corporate locations or privately owned. What are we doing so good? What are you doing good, President?
Well, I think one of the reasons, there's a couple reasons, but for franchisees, I think the draw is our what it costs to get into our system. It does not cost $1 million to get into the system, like we were talking about before the break. We work really hard to keep costs at a real minimum so that franchisees can really make their money back soon and start to make a real career out of this. When it comes to the dog management, Mike's almost 40-year background in dog management and dog training informs all of our systems and our processes when it comes to dog management, how we think about dogs, how we group dogs. We spend a tremendous amount of time on our training for our franchisees
Right.
on teaching the franchisees and their staff how to evaluate dogs, how to read dogs, how to group them properly, to really optimize their experience at any Houndstown location. And that is really at the core of what we do. And and I've been a customer at a lot of other pet care facilities, and there's really no one else that has that experience and that knowledge. So it's it's so important for that to be the root of our system. And I think that's a main reason.
Right. So what separates? So my background is quite opposite. So I don't come from the business world. I don't come with a marketing background, any of those things. I come from a commercial dog management world. So as Jackie said, since 1979, 1980, I've been working commercially, beginning with the NYPD's canine unit, eventually to another. I've been working with dogs in the military, managing dog behavior. And that is something lacking. So there are plenty of people who know how to market and know how to do trendy things, and Jackie is great at that. But if you don't know how to manage the dogs, and we don't discriminate against dogs, when you understand the dog brain, and when I can teach our franchisees the difference between animal, dog and human, and we fill that gap, and we make our facilities, the old saying goes, the customer is always right. That's true in our business. However, our customer is the dog. Our facilities are designed for the dogs. Of course, there's all kinds of things that are appealing to the human brain, and it makes it very nice. Our Houndstown theme, and we have a Houndstown groomery, Houndstown park. They're all very nice for the human brain, but the dog brain, quite frankly, couldn't care less. They want to be 18 inches off the ground. That's where they live. They live in a different world than us, and we understand that world. So at Houndstown, we allow dogs to be dogs. They hump, jump, and dump. Things that they'd be yelled at and screamed at and admonished for at home, they're allowed to come to our facilities, be a dog, just like children go to a playground, and they expend all this energy and they can do fun things.
Right, and I think that's a good segue to tell everybody our brand values. So we have 5 brand values here at Houndstown. And the first one is the customer is always right, but the customer is the dog. So once people realize that our goal at Houndstown at all of our locations is to let the dog be a dog and to have the best time possible, they then understand like our entire philosophy, and they really become integrated, very loyal customers for us. Our second brand value is that we don't discriminate, and this doesn't just include breed. We don't discriminate against a dog for any reason, for any disability, for their age. We're an interactive facility, so all of our facilities are. So we're not always right for every single dog, but 9 times out of 10, 9 out of 10 dogs are going to do really well at our place. Our third brand value is that we don't have any separate playtime. So from the time a dog comes into our facility at 6 a.m. in the morning to the time they leave at 7 or 8 p.m., they are in a play group with dogs of their own size, temperament, energy level, and personality. So they're really, we want the customer to be able to get what they're paying for. And there's no need to pay for 20 minutes of separate playtime and have the dog in a kennel the whole rest of the time. Our fourth brand value is that we don't upcharge people. All of our pricing across all of our locations is all inclusive. Boarding prices include fully interactive doggy daycare. So again, there's no need to, like you always say, have an accountant to figure out what you're being charged when you pick your dog up after boarding for a couple of days. We try to keep everything very simple and straightforward.
We don't BS people, to be very frank and straightforward. We don't. And people this is an emotional business, so dogs are like people's children. So if we say, if one of our competitors charge for an ice cream cone at night, most pet owners are going to feel compelled to buy the ice cream cone. And I find that appalling. So we don't do that. So we don't BS. We keep things...
things very simple and straightforward. So that's our fifth brand value, is that we don't... There's no we say no BS. So we have a very kind of rough and tumble, down to earth, straightforward air about our brand. So that's important for us to communicate to all of our customers.
Right, but one of the most important things, taking all that into consideration, is the domestic dog. So it's the difference between a wild dog and a domestic dog is one, we've separated it from their natural pack. So the last time your dog was in a natural environment, when it was born to a litter, and that's when they learned they could do things that then we take them home and we stop all that, and we treat them as children, humans, and they don't understand it. So they have very specific needs. Fish need to swim in water, birds need to fly and go to a nest, and dogs need interaction with other animals, other dogs. Why? Because they're dogs.
Right, and I think because of that is what makes our pet care franchise so popular, and that's why we've doubled the size of our system in 2018 alone. Because I think previously, there's not that many pet care franchises out there that have this track record that we do, that have the knowledge and the experience and the expertise that we do. When you couple that with the low cost of entry, and the potential for what the business can do across a variety of levels, it's a no-brainer. Right. So we're starting to get people come to us and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we found out about you and we know Houndstown exists." Right. And we're excited to share our business model and to share this opportunity with people across the country. So we've got to go soon, but I want to tell everybody that we will be at the IFA conference, the International Franchise Association conference in February in Las Vegas. Nice. If anybody would like to come by and see us, we will be doing that. And also, for any information on Houndstown or a Houndstown franchise, go to houndstownfranchise.com. We've got tons of information on how you can get started, the benefits, what it costs to get into the system, some frequently asked questions, and our sales team will be more than happy to answer, obviously, anything additional for you.
Right. Transparency is the key.
Yes.
We are not timeshare sales people. Use transparency, everything, and that's the nice part about franchising. We want you to understand everything, the good and the bad. There's no perfect thing in life, but Houndstown can be a very, very rewarding business opportunity. Just to mention, we have 7 locations here on Long Island. So if you figured Long Island, it's a Long Island, it's small. We have 7 locations that are thriving.
Right.
So that says something to the rest of the
country.
country.
Within a 60 or 70 mile area.
Right.
So we feel that if we can have 7 locations within that small,
successful.
Imagine what we can do in some of these bigger markets like Atlanta and Nashville and the Carolinas and
Michigan, Richmond,
everywhere.
Just everywhere I travel, Tampa, anywhere you go where there's commuting people that want to be pet owners. We like to say we make pet ownership possible for people working 2 or 3 jobs. Yeah, and it's true.
We get our customers tell us that all the time. So I think, beyond having the potential to be a really successful business for people, you have the opportunity as a franchisee to be a part of your community, to make a difference in people's lives, and more importantly, in the dogs' lives. Mm-hmm. We've seen it time and time again where, this is such a great outlet for dogs, especially for dogs that people sometimes don't think can be in an interactive environment, or the dog is suffering at home from something. And once they come to Houndstown and they find out about us, what you're doing for that dog is beyond just providing, a simple daycare service. So it's a very rewarding business as well. So we got to go, but check out houndstownfranchise.com for any further information or questions. You can also check out our corporate site, houndstownusa.com. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Houndstown USA, and we will see everybody next week.
Happy New Year.